Okay, so I'm sitting here in a very revealing outfit, and you may wonder why, and I'm gonna tell you, but we're gonna start at the beginning first. My name is Siobhan Maxine Riordan. Most people refer to me as Shay. I am 28 years old for only a limited time, and I am married for almost 1 year, have 3 dogs, and I'm very happy for the most part. The thing that I wanted to talk about, and I feel like we need to speak more about as a society, is body image. Now, let's go into some backstory. When I was young, I had a big fro, didn't know how to control these curls. I was shorter than everybody else in the class, and I was very overweight. And as time went on, my home life was very chaotic, with my mom struggling with bipolar, a devastating disease that unfortunately took her life, and with a broken family. Now, I have wonderful relationships with my family. They're great, but that doesn't mean that chaos doesn't affect you in life. So as I got older, I started to try to fill the void of all these things happening in my life. My mom sometimes being very with it and together, and then at other times being very broken and manic, as I would call it. And me having to deal with those things, I had my solace in TV. That was my babysitter, that was my friend. I could watch Mrs. Doubtfire on repeat. I would have one in the VCR playing and then one in the car rewinding, and I would just alternate. And Robin Williams made me want to become an actress, and I would just sit and eat and watch movie after movie after movie because I could escape my world. And as I got older, that sitting contributed to me not wanting to be active. And that lack of activity obviously led to extreme weight gain. When I was maybe 8, the weight really started to come on. And then when I became 15, I fainted. I was doing my hair, and the curling iron was really hot, and I fainted right next to it. And luckily it didn't burn me, but I couldn't understand why I went down. So I went to the doctor, and she told me that if I kept up the way I was, that I would die from fat attacking my heart. Now, I just want to preface this by saying that saying something damaging like that to a young person isn't exactly the best route to go about it. However, it did spark something in me, and I tried being more active, and I started to lose a little bit of weight. And now this plateaued. And once it plateaued, I got very nervous because now I think I'm gonna die. So I went on more extreme diets, eventually leading to bulimia and then anorexia. And I struggled very, very hard with this for years, and I'm not gonna lie and say that it doesn't still affect me today. So in the first year, from 15 to 16, I had a very warped mental image, and if I didn't eat that day, I viewed it as an accomplishment. And viewing starving your body as an accomplishment is very toxic. But as I kept on starving myself, everybody around me kept on complimenting me and telling me how beautiful that was. And as the compliments rolled in, the more I wanted to not eat. It would get to the point where I would go to class and my mom used to give me lunch money. And I would just save the money to buy clothes. And everybody would tell me to eat a sandwich, eat something, because I guess people started to pick up on it. But I wouldn't. And I lost 130 pounds in 1 year. Now, as you can imagine, I started seeing my body in a very different way. My collarbones were exposed, my ribs were exposed, and I'd never seen those to that extreme before. Actually, I didn't even know I had them. I thought just everybody else did. And so I remember one day I was with two of my best friends and we were bathing suit shopping. And I was going to try on a bikini, and I'd never tried on a bikini. Well, maybe when I was like 5, but not in my teens. And we were all in one changing room, put on the bikini, and I was so skinny that you could literally put your hand in under my rib cage. Now, me going from somebody who was very large to now being so skinny that you can put your hand inside your ribs, that was extreme weight loss. And I saw other side effects of my skin was very saggy because it was so rapid, and I was always so upset about these stretch marks that I got from growing. But what they don't tell you is when you lose weight that fast, you also get stretch marks from shrinking. And so now my whole body was covered in these marks. And I was like, what's going on? This is crazy. And so I tried all this stuff because now, I was looking skinny, but I had all these new issues. My arms were flabby and my legs were flabby and my stomach had folds. And so even though everybody around me now called me beautiful, people who used to beat me up for being too fat, now they were attracted to me. Also during this time, when I was 14 actually, I figured out that I was gay. And that was a whole roller coaster in itself as well. Also leading to more questioning about myself, and my mental state through all these things was always very affected. My mom's battles were always up and down, and my schooling took a hit because obviously I couldn't think because I wasn't eating. And, I wanted to be skinny my whole life because I thought that would solve things. And what I found out is it didn't solve anything. Actually, now I had a whole new set of problems. So I eventually started eating again. And in the beginning, when I started eating again, I thought that I was doing good that day if I ate an orange and one yogurt. And I would pat myself on the back because, oh, you did it. And that was my food for the whole day. And I got these videotapes called Carmen Electra Stripper Size. Really funny. But the second one was more just aerobics and stuff. And instead of not eating, I decided to do that every day. So I worked out. I walked to the mall, which was about 45 minutes away, walked around the mall, and would come back. So I was always having this exercise, and now all of a sudden I was able to maintain this body that I had tortured. But I still wasn't happy. So years passed, and eventually I became a weight loss counselor. And it was interesting because people would come in there and they would be like 100 pounds and think that they'd have to lose weight. And I was so confused by that. And as my job, I was supposed to force these bars, as they called them. They were meal replacement bars. This toxic stuff that if you looked at it was all sugar. Nothing was good for you, but this was going to get you to your body. And you have to invest like $600 every 6 months in these products. But that was going to get you to your dream life, That was going to make you happy. And then the older I got, the more I realized that this stuff, it's not going to change your mind. It just changes your outer appearance. And as someone who thought that being skinnier would solve something, I realized it didn't solve anything. Nothing changed. Actually, more problems. So I guess there was a change, but not in a positive direction. And now I have body dysmorphia disorder. And so when I looked in the mirror, I saw a very large person, but in actuality, I was withering away. And I thought this was something good. And then going into being a weight loss counselor and seeing people so skinny and thinking that they needed to be even skinnier to fit into some sort of mold or idea that somebody else had given them, that a magazine had given them. Like, this was right. This was the thing to do. And, you know, I'd like to say that even though I know in my head that these things don't matter, being healthy is important. Putting good food in your body, exercising, enjoying your life, and not sitting in front of a TV all the time. These things are important because you get to experience life. But what isn't important is if you fit into a size 0 or a 2 or a 4 or maybe even a 12. It's coming to terms with who you are inside and showing how beautiful you are from the inside out, not the outside in necessarily. So, like I said, I was married, and I remember before my wedding, I went to 6 different dress fittings because I was so stressed out of what other people thought about me on my wedding day. I kept on losing weight because I was so overwhelmed that I wasn't going to fit into a mold that somebody else wanted me to fit into. And you know what? I had my wedding day, and it was beautiful, just beautiful. And people were friendly, and I got so many compliments. And I look back at those pictures, and I'm like, I don't know what I was so upset about, because I was perfect. And I went on my honeymoon, and I had my big bum and these tiny shorts, and you know what? I didn't care because I was perfect. And today, I'm still perfect. Not perfect to the ideal standard, but I'm perfect for me. I'm perfect for my wife. I'm exactly who I am supposed to be because I'm me. And so, this body that you see here, with its folds and its thighs and this gap and jiggle, this body is perfect because it's mine. And your body is perfect because it's yours. So, just send some love out there. Always.